Just started, so let's have a look. And it seems like that the second game is going to be 2v2 and on Arabia. 2v2 because probably they didn't really like the lag that we have seen last game, and yeah, it was pretty significant to be honest. And Courage is not really going to be participating in this match any longer, and VLNS are going to be attempting to deal with their opponents in just a 2v2. So let's see if they are going to be successful or not. It's of course going to be pretty tall order for them, as VIKs are playing with Warrior and Winchester. They are two pretty skilled players overall. We have right now caught up with the delay of the spectatorship in here, and looking at the civilizations, we are having Aztec and Huns for VLNS, whereas for VIKs we are having Huns and Mongols. So you can kind of take your bets what's going to be better in here. It's probably more up to personal preference. And looking so far, the map is pretty much okay for Rablebok. Doesn't seem there are any kind of problems. But looking how he's also right next to the wall, it's of course a bit of a problem as he is having unfortunate placement of the resources because of that, as they are in an aggressive position, which makes it hard for him to defend. And he is definitely going to be having a lot of defending to do in the early game against his opponents. Double boards in here, so he knows where they are. With Conk Forever being his ally at the top, already working on one boar, luring the second one, so not any kind of stealing in here. And it seems like that maybe Blue was attempting to steal one of the boars from his opponent, but didn't really succeed. As you can see, that Red is still having the one that was discovered in there, so not any kind of luck for the blue player, and well, probably not any kind of stealing happening at all on this map. Interesting gold, because it can potentially be quite safe if you wall at the top in here. Not really happy about the stone, but the stone at the back, that is the base one, is pretty much okay. And the gold is, well, kind of open. Not going to be easy, but using the stragglers, he might be able to wall reasonably enough. And with putting a wall at the bottom as well, so not really all that bad as it could have been. And the extra gold at the back, yep, that's pretty much it in there. And nothing that blue player should be all that worried about. Second boar also being lured in by Warrior, as his gold at the back is going to be definitely helping him if he is under some kind of pressure on his main gold, which is in the forefront. Well, kind of tough to wall if he doesn't want to build a wall literally in the middle of the map, which is probably not something that he wants, and we'll have to be a bit careful. So that he isn't raided, and same goes for the stone, which is not safe at all, but otherwise the base seems to be pretty much okay for the red player. Last one to have a look at is VIK Winchester. The purple one already going for barracks, so he is attempting, or rather going to be of course attempting a bit of a rush. Second boar also, so yeah, confirming that there is not any kind of stealing, and kind of funny placement of a back gold. It's not going to be easy to get it from at all, because it is literally having just the front two faces of the gold free. And before he gets rid of all those woods, it's really not going to be all that available to get it from. And right now, finally, we are having the overlay, the spectator overlay, working quite nicely, and we are not going to be having to rely on our guesses when to look at things. Let's switch into Winchester, who is already preparing for his rush with the militias, and is going to be making life difficult for Yellow. And Yellow is in the meantime trying to wall himself in, but is he going to be fast enough? He could be, because of the placement of the gold and stone mines. And yeah, it seems like that he is going to be faster. And you can see that Winchester is right now not exactly moving in there fast enough. And probably not even going to be attempting to actually go for his opponent, because the wall is pretty convincing from Rablebok. And even though he doesn't see the way at the bottom yet, he's going to be discovering it just about now. Yeah, and it's going to be seen that any kind of rushing is not really going to do anything for him, because the walling is really quite nicely done by Rablebok. And if he's finishing at the top, which he definitely is, yep, the dash is not going to be strong enough, and he's probably going to be switching into the blue player and maybe even joining with this ally. Let's see. Warriors so far. Ah, he's already there? Oh no, he isn't. But since he's Mongol, I wouldn't expect some kind of full dash from him. Usually Mongolians go exactly for scout rushing. So that is going to be the standard, and the combination of the scouts together potentially with the dash might be quite interesting, but you can see quite nice sneaky play by Winchester actually in here at the bottom, who is attempting quite nicely to stop the villager from finishing with the wall, and oh my, that's so well played. That's so damn well played. So even though Rablebok was going to be finishing with the wall just in time, some very nice little play by Winchester with the scout denied that, and he's right now going to be ruining the economy of his opponent. And this is, oh my, something that Rablebok spent all his time and resources into preventing, and he didn't. Well, that has to be kinda tough on psychologically on the yellow player, because this is really not ideal at all for him. He has killed 2 extra villagers, so that's 3 villagers and Eagle Warrior dead for Rablebok, and that's a huge blow. That's quite obviously a huge blow. And on top of that, those 3 villagers are not gathering anything for already at least a minute or 2, and it's not really going to be lasting, or rather, it's not going to be changing for any time soon. And even though the hole in the wall is just now finished, or rather repaired, the damage has been done, and yet another villager died, and this is so nicely played. So 1, 2, 3, 4 villagers dead through the dash, and that's how you do dash. That's why you do it, and that's a pretty big blow. We can see that Rablebok is dropped to just 22 villies, whereas Isla Kong Forever 26, Winchester 28, and Warrior 26. Just now advancing into Feudal Age, whereas Winchester is already clicking into Castle. That's going to be a very tough game for the yellow pair still. At the top though, we see that Warrior is not having the same kind of luck with his opponent, as Kong Forever is playing quite well. And he's having his scouts quite nicely prepared as a Han against the Mongol, and seems to be playing quite well, and already is attempting to actually turn the tables around and hoping that he can raid his opponent a bit. He probably could, but he's almost looking like that he actually wants to go to the bottom. But maybe he was just trying to somehow outmaneuver his opponent, which he kinda succeeded in. You can see a lot of damage being dealt basically for free for the blue player, and well, he's kinda content with that, because it means that the scouts from the red player are not going to be really all that much strong, as they are going to be very easy to kill for the blue player. Bluey is not intent on entering the opponent's base through the front door. Moving somewhere else, trying to find something at the back. EG might be succeeding at the top, or maybe he's going to be just switching to the bottom. So far, it doesn't seem so, even though I think that would be a pretty good idea to help his yellow ally a bit. But, well, let's see what he can find at the top. Well, he's going to be finding a spearman, because Red has prepared, but looking how this is 5 scouts, full health. I'm thinking that 1 spearman is definitely not going to be enough for that, so maybe Warrior should be upping up a bit more onto the defense with the spearman in here. Castle Age also clicked in for Kong Forever, with the wall in trying to be improved by the yellow player into stone walls as well. What is the red dot at the bottom? Ah, a bit of sheep and a big hole. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, of course. Such a nice wall by the yellow player, and yet again he falls for the thinking that the woodline is running all the way to the part of the map that is its border, which it definitely isn't. And there is, wow, my, there's a highway inside your base which you are unfortunately totally unaware of, and that could be your death, because if the purple player, who is, as you can see, building cavalry archers, going to be discovering that, well, tough deal for you, and definitely not going to be easy to defend against this altogether. What's also interesting to notice is that the Mayan, or rather the Aztec Rablebok, is actually slinging to his ally Blue Kong Forever, and that's the reason why he's also jumping into the castle so fast. So fast, without really seeing any kind of signs that he could be signs that he could be doing that, and let's see if that's going to be something that will put VIKs out of the position in here. I'm not exactly sure. You can see that blue is making quite a good army, or rather building quite a good army, and seems to be preparing exactly for some potentially even cavalry archers as well, even though going for crossbowmen and botkin arrow, so just probably crossbowmen. As Red is kinda living on the edge in here, trying to fight with the scouts against the spearmen, but he knew what he was doing, and he definitely succeeded in what he was attempting to do. Right now he sees that second town center is being built by the blue player, as he's also attempting a bit of raiding, which is going to be successful on the gold. It should be killing at least one Willy, I would be thinking. Yep. One Willy dead, maybe even two, with a bit of luck. But not really here, but if he goes a bit more to the top, which he probably will, he's going to be finding some extras to kill, and as you can see, there was already a few villagers killed due to the blue raiding. As you can see, blue horsey dead just about here, so 2 villagers dead through the raiding, and disruption of the economy happening through the crossbowmen. At the bottom, yellow, or rather, purple is still working on killing the house and breaching through the walls, as the walls are already being rebuilt by yellow for a second row. And still, all the time, not aware that he can go there freely. That's how important scouting is and what can do for you, either in the defense or in the offense. If Winchester knew he could be just wrecking the economy, with this squad of cavalry archers, he would be absolutely killing. He would be absolutely killing the yellow player and stopping him in his tracks altogether. Castle Age coming for warrior. And not finished walling. Yet again, oh my, yellow, and here you see the exodus into the town center. Exactly the reaction, and he didn't even need the way into the base through the back and to disrupt his opponent. And since yellow is just full-time slinging and not having any kind of defense, just now going for a tower at the bottom, this is going to be an absolute disaster for VLNS. And so far, or rather right now, Conk Forever is not going to be receiving anything else from the yellow teammate, and well, you can see this is going to be just a lot of Willies dead, as Rable Block is just now at 32 Willies, and going to be dropping quite convincingly with 27 idle. Yep, that's an economy, full dead. Winchester at 53, Warrior at 27, Conk Forever at 49, so still the economies are kinda equal, but look at how yellow is basically dead in the water right about now. And quite good micro with the mangonel against the crossbowman is paying off for warrior. We don't really expect, or rather we can't really expect, that the blue player should be finishing with this red opponent in such a manner as purple is finishing with yellow right about now. Still, well, they are right now but just about scouting, not really doing anything else. And third town center for the blue player is just the one for the red, and Winchester having 1, 2, 3 town centers, so pretty much a standard case for him and wrecking his opponent. But finally we see a bit of a help from blue, who is sending some cavalry archers in, but yeah, you can see that GG is already being called by Rable Block, because really this disruption in the game is just too strong, and you can see unfortunately that the host of the room has exited sooner than we could have used. There was a bit like a minute more extra of the game, but since the GG has been already called, we know that Resign wasn't really far behind, and very nicely played by Winchester. That little play with the wall, letting himself in and disrupting the economy with the Drush, killing 4 villagers, basically making extras not gather anything. Yep, that was an expert play. That was an expert MVP play right there. Nicely played. Nicely played by VIKs. So let's have a look at the achievements. Conk Forever winning the score because he was slunk. Which cannot be said, of course, about VIKs, as they weren't slinging. They were just playing good. And Winchester beating absolutely everybody in everything. Nicely played. Nicely played indeed, and GG.